Somewhere in the world, right now, 100 strangers are standing in a perfectly straight line, and not one of them signed a contract, took an oath, or agreed to any rule. So why does nobody just push to the front? Today, we're going to break down the invisible rule book you've been obeying your entire life, and never once been told exists. Let's start with the obvious question. What actually is a line? Strip away the politeness, and a queue is just a rationing system, a way of deciding who gets something first when there isn't enough for everyone at once. It's one of the only systems on Earth where complete strangers agree, instantly and silently, on a single rule. Whoever arrived first gets served first. No manager assigns positions. No app tracks arrival times in most cases. And yet, somehow, everyone just knows where to stand. This is what sociologists call a self-organizing social norm, order that emerges without anyone enforcing it. Queuing as we know it wasn't always universal. Historians point to a very specific turning point, wartime rationing in 20th century Britain. When food and goods were scarce, standing in line became the only fair way to distribute what little was available. Skip the line, and you weren't just rude, you were stealing from someone else's family. That crisis-born habit didn't disappear when the war ended. It became identity. The British stereotype of polite queuing didn't come from manners, it came from survival. And once a behavior survives a crisis, it tends to outlive the crisis itself. But here's the twist. Queuing isn't actually universal. In parts of the world, the first-come, first-served rule is replaced by something far less orderly, and we'll get to that. Watch what happens here. No one shouts. No one physically stops them. But look at the faces. That's not mild annoyance. That is measurable, physiological anger. Researchers have found that queue cutting triggers a stronger emotional reaction in people than fairness violations in almost any other everyday context, because it breaks an unspoken promise. Effort will be rewarded. When someone cuts in line, your brain doesn't process it as a minor inconvenience. It processes it as an injustice. The same mental circuitry involved in detecting cheating and betrayal lights up. That's why a 2-second act, someone stepping in front of you, can ruin your entire mood for the next 20 minutes. And notice how people punish the cutter. Rarely with force. Almost always with silent social pressure. The stare, the sigh, the pointed comment. It's punishment without confrontation. A whole justice system enforced by body language. Now here's where it gets interesting. The rules of queuing are not the same everywhere. In Japan, queuing is almost ritualistic. Floor markings tell you exactly where to stand, and stepping outside them is a visible social error. In other cultures, the line is replaced by something researchers call a cluster system, where proximity and assertiveness, not arrival time, determine who gets served next. Neither system is right or wrong, they're just different solutions to the same problem. How do you fairly decide who goes first when everyone showed up around the same time? But what happens when the invisible contract breaks completely? When there's suddenly not enough order to hold the line? This is when queues collapse into what researchers actually call crowd crush, and it's one of the most dangerous and least understood phenomena in public safety. It's rarely because people are individually violent. It's because the fairness system, the queue, has failed to convince everyone that waiting will still work. Once enough people believe the line no longer guarantees a fair outcome, the entire social contract dissolves in seconds. So the next time you're standing in a line, waiting for coffee, a concert, a passport check, remember what's actually happening. You're not just waiting. You're participating in one of the oldest, quietest agreements humans have ever made with each other. I'll wait my turn if you wait yours. No one wrote that rule down, but somehow, all of us know it by heart. If you're new here, this is Explainify series, where we dig into the strange science hiding in ordinary life. You won't regret hitting that subscribe button.